Hi, everyone. I'd like to call the meeting of the Encinitas Commission for the Arts to order at 5:04.
Let the record show all commissioners are present except for Commissioner Sims, Seelert, and Redletts.
Okay, then shall we stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, I think no special presentations, no oral communications.
There are none.
There are none. And no changes to the agenda. So we can move on to approving the minutes. Is there any discussion of the minutes?
I read the minutes and can move the,
You have to press your button.
Your button will turn green.
Thank you. I read the minutes and found them to be accurate with the notes that I took of the meeting.
So do you move to accept them?
So I move to accept the meeting minutes.
Okay, I second the motion.
Is there a voting screen on your?
I think.
Oh.
Okay.
Quick stop voting recorder.
Okay. So we have approved the minutes. And now we can move on to the work plan. And let's see if we can make this. Colette, you want to talk about the?
Yes, I was going to see if I could make it bigger. Can you guys see it okay?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, so work plan. I'm going to just go through the hot button things. If I skip over something that you are feeling like we need to discuss, just let me know. So the first one under arts advocacy is the Ae6 Plan, and that has been postponed. They're doing a little bit more work on their end. So instead of starting in January as planned, the majority of the work's going to actually start in March. We will have some work to do in February to get started on that, but the collection of surveys and so on is going to start in early March.
I'm sorry, Colette, did you call that the AE6?
The Arts and Economic Prosperity, it is the 6th one that they've done, and so they are going by the abbreviation AE6.
Okay, thank you.
Question, are they changing the format of the surveys, or is it more of a, I was just asking because I was wondering if we could start seeing the documents or what's going to be required.
I don't have any of that information yet. I followed up ahead of this meeting to see what I could get so that I could share as much as possible, and they just don't have it ready. So they're doing a couple of things. They are seeking to fill a position that specifically addresses equity in the arts, and they are also working out some formulas to do a little bit of math for kind of to account for COVID, because they don't want lack of attendance to poorly reflect on the effect of the arts on economic prosperity. So that just put them a little bit behind, and rather than stick to a hard schedule, they decided to push it forward a little bit so that they could be better prepared. As soon as I get information, I can send it out to all of you so that you'll know about it almost as soon as I do. And we will, at some point, perhaps at the next meeting, need to form an ad hoc for that, so that all of the commissioners need to be prepared to put a lot of work in on that, but I will need someone who can really help lead the charge on that.
Great. I was asking because I want to help out as much as I can. So that's why I was asking if the surveys were available. We can take a look at it
Sure.
ahead of time.
Yep, nope, not, I love your enthusiasm, and nope, not just yet. Okay, Arts Master Plan, we have been following up on that. It is currently with planning, and it's in review. I don't have any more information about their timeline. They have been a little bit busy, and it's been difficult to get a definitive answer, but I just wanted you to know, both Travis and I have been really trying to get some information on that.
Because I know at the last meeting, we were told it would be ready by November, which is, and now, and it's been in the works for a long time.
I understand, and as recently as this afternoon at about 4 o'clock, we followed up and don't have any more information. So it's in planning's hands right now, and I have nothing else for you.
Is there anything we can do to help this along? Do they have questions about it, or do you know what the...
I don't know what their holdup. I don't have enough information about what, I know they, like the Parks, Rec, and Cultural Arts Department, are also very short-staffed. So it could just very much be a bandwidth issue.
Could we move on without their comments at this moment in time? Can we receive a version of it? Is it necessary for them to review it? That's what I'm asking.
Oh, as I understand it, we are at the point where we need to get that bit of information in order to inform the next stage. I don't think there's anything else you can do until you get their feedback.
Although we can probably propose parts of it that, maybe ahead of time. They can be independent of the master plan. Our suggestion for percent for the arts, to get that as maybe separate and get it in front of the council is something we could think about.
Yeah, that could be possible, but just to understand the process, I guess I don't want to step on the people's shoes here or feet, So that's what I was wondering, if it's necessary for them to give us feedback, or we can just move ahead. That's what I'm trying to, but it seems like we need to wait for them. Is that what I'm getting?
That is the information that I have gotten back, is that the order of operations is we need that. So Irene, I heard you saying something about percent for the arts. Is that the specific piece that is of most interest?
Well, there are a lot, certainly the whole thing is of interest of how we want to go forward, but that's something that we had actually discussed with members of the council, and they seem favorable, so, and it might be something we could just propose separately, and, maybe have as an agenda item next month and discuss how to proceed if we want to do that.
I thought that was part of the public arts ordinance
Yeah,
as opposed to the master plan.
it's in the master plan.
Oh.
Colette, it's with the planning department. Does it need to go through it doesn't go through the planning commission, does it?
I don't believe so.
Okay.
I would need to
No, I
confirm
don't
that
think so.
definitively.
From my understanding, it doesn't, Michael.
Okay. Thanks.
Okay. Okay, the next one, Cultural Tourism Committee, the next meeting is on Thursday, February 3rd. Irene, is that still a good date for you?
Yes, I think so.
Fantastic.
And I went to the meeting last week, and it's interesting it's been very interesting to attend it because you really get an idea of what's going on in the city. It's not necessarily specifically things that the Arts Commission is interested in, but overall to know what's going on. And so I think probably the things I learned the most about are the Historical Society and the Heritage Museum, which I didn't know too much about their activities.
I used to attend those meetings, and they often have I don't know what they're doing now, but they would often have presentations by different organizations that were coming to San Diego County for one reason or another, and that was always very interesting, too.
But Colette and Travis's reporting was really fantastic, and all the stuff that is coming out of the arts with the music programs and the art walk, and we take up a substantial amount of the space there.
Okay, so then on to page 2, public art. El Portal is going to be a really important piece for us to ensure we get finished in time. Because of the holidays, I'm going to look to connect with the ad hoc as early in January as possible so that we can really jump on that. With that taking priority, the RFPs or the sculptures, that's going to come after that because we also have Encinitas Boulevard. And I did, because I haven't shared yet with you what the artists had. Have you seen that yet? I can't remember if I shared. Okay, so Julie, how do I go to that X Drive?
This is after, we saw at the last meeting, when we spoke with the artist. We saw her.
The ad hoc did.
Right, but not since then.
Okay. Thank you, Julie. Okay. Thank you very much. Okay, this is the presentation. From the artist. So this shows the rendering on the full panels, the full part. And then here it gets into details. So I'm just going to scroll through.
Oh, look at the bugs.
Excuse me, these W's are weep holes for drainage. These are just varying sets of details at different scale.
So these are what the ad hoc committee saw before. I know we had a few suggestions,
Right.
but you haven't gotten anything back.
No, nothing's come back yet, but I wanted to be able to share as much as possible since in so many of these categories, I don't have a lot to share with you. So this shows, as you're sitting facing either the east or the west, these are the very end points. So as you're traveling either east or west on Encinitas Boulevard, these are the end points that you see before it wraps around. So just to give you an idea of what it'll look like.
So if you were driving west, this is what you would see on the second one is what you see on the left. And
So on the northeast, Yes. So as you travel under the 5, here's how you would see it.
So you see the ocean pieces traveling to the ocean and the backcountry pieces traveling to the backcountry.
That is my understanding.
I'm really anxious to see this in person.
And the ad hoc did make some suggestions, and the artist was very receptive. And as soon as we have more, I'll share that too. All right, so now let me get out of here, and I'll go back to our work
What kind
plan.
of comments, can you share that with us with the ad hoc committee?
Irene, you might remember more. I don't have them here with me.
There were some about the formal aspects of it where things we thought, well, like the one, can you pull it up again? I
You
remember
bet.
one of them specifically that, where we thought things were cut off a little bit. So,
Which panel do you want to look at?
it's not this one. It's the one where there's kind of a wall of blue.
Oh, this one.
Yes, right, and we
Yeah,
didn't.
let me get that, there we go.
Yes, this one, we just thought the angle, see the yellow flower to the left, and it just is too abrupt there, so we wanted them to kind of soften that a little bit. So that was, I think they were pretty much designed suggestions like that, and we didn't really, we're pretty much going with the artist's vision.
Thought there was another one that was similar to that. Something possibly even with more of this, I can't.
Oh,
remember.
right, it was another one, the one on the upper right-hand picture. There's just sort of a discontinuity between the two levels of the water. So we thought that looked a little, like it could have been improved a bit.
Oh, between the top and the across from it.
Mhm. Yeah, so looking at it, here, so that was one of the spots. And then in here. Is there anything else you can remember, Irene?
Not specifically. I'm trying to think. Wasn't she going to replace one of the birds for a more native,
Oh, she's going to replace this tree.
was a tree, okay, yeah.
Yeah, we're definitely replacing this tree to be something that is native. And we
Is that
talked
a
about it.
eucalyptus?
Well, eucalyptus is
think
not
so.
actually
What
native.
is it? Well, no, they're not native. I mean, we have a lot, but they're not native.
Looks upside down.
Oh, yeah.
Tree looks like it's growing upside down.
We actually suggested that she connect with one of the guys in our department who knows all about the different species, and there were a few that were suggested in the meeting. And we reminded her that Encinitas literally means little oaks.
But I think we all like the kind of the dynamism and the color and the fact that, every time you look at it, you're going to see something different as
I
you're
love
zooming
the
by.
bugs.
Okay. All right, let me get out of there and back over here. Okay, so then visual art, visual selection committee juried all of the applications for 2022. We had way too many for all the spaces that we had. And Bridget and I spent a great deal of time going through and contacting. We still had some artists who were juried in, but since the time they applied are not able to be in. So we don't have all of that information completed just yet, but we're coming along. I will be able to share with you all of the 2022 exhibitions when we get together next.
So, I'm sorry, you said some of the artists could not participate
Mhm.
that were high up in the ranking?
Pardon?
That were high in the ranking?
They
Or
were, some of the ones that were chosen were unavailable. But that's part of the process that we're working through now, and why we needed the time that we needed was because I knew the chronology of how we were going to have to put that together. So that is in process. We do have the first section, January, February exhibitions are largely carryover artists who were not able to exhibit because of COVID. And I think there's one new one in there. And then that takes us to Art Night. And I am so appreciative of all the help that we get from you and am asking for more. I don't have any volunteers to help on the shuttles for Art Night on Saturday. And it makes a huge difference for the drivers. Many of them are not familiar with Encinitas. And so it's difficult for them to be following the map. And one of the things we tried at the last one we did was volunteers stepped up, and I had them just do a single route of helping the drivers know which way to go and where to stop. And then when they continued along their route, it was much easier for them. And then it didn't mean that we had to have a volunteer who was on the bus for 3 straight hours. So I am looking for 3 volunteers who can, it's basically from about 5:30 to maybe 7, somewhere around there. So 5:30 is when the shuttle drivers arrive at the library. I do a quick tutorial, you jump on. One stays with me at the library, one goes off to the community center, the third goes down to the museum. And then the route continues through there, and once you've done a full cycle, jump off and enjoy your evening. So if any of you are interested in doing that or can help recruit volunteers to help do that, it would be so appreciated.
I will send out a notice to the Leucadia Town Council Board. We got people last time.
That's
And another couple that showed up to help at Dia de los Muertes. They just weren't available, so
that would be
hopefully that'll
great.
help.
Yes, so it's not any more than an hour and a half, and then they can decide to get off and enjoy Art Night or go back to the library and get their car and go on and do something different.
I still don't know if I will personally be able to make it, but I will reach out to a couple of volunteers I met during Small Business Saturday who were good people and might be interested.
Oh, good.
That would be great. And then, of course, we have our city sites. We have City Hall, Library, and Community Center. And I am currently a team of 1, and I am really being well supported internally here. We've had people from the IT department step up and help manage some cultural arts things. I do have a couple of new potential community center staff that are helping out, but I really need Arts Commission. It makes a huge difference when you're on site also, because you guys are advocates for what we're doing and can talk about it. And Kathleen has been doing this at City Hall for, since we went back into being able to have Art Night.
As soon as I got off the buses.
As soon as you got off the buses, exactly. So if you are able to be on site, especially in the 2 places where I am not, which is City Hall and Community Center, that would be incredibly helpful. There is going to be a lot going on at the library this time because the mural by Kevin Anderson is going to be formally presented. So while we have artists in community room and artists in the lobby, we're also going to have a third thing happening, which is at 7 o'clock. That presentation's going to be happening. So in a perfect world, I have 3 of you, 1 at each of the 3 spots to help keep Art Night going.
I'm at City Hall, I think.
Thank you. I so appreciate that you keep doing that for us.
It's fun. It's fun. People are really nice and get to listen to good tunes and
Yes, yes.
lots of people I know and
And we
That
do, we
would be
have
going.
music. I think there's just one more spot, and Michael thinks he might have someone to fill that spot, in which case we'll have a full night of music at all 3 city
Oh,
spots.
good.
So I will be reaching out to you again and asking if anyone can jump in on, come to the sites. And then that is all I have for the work plan. Are there any things that I skipped over?
Well,
Thank-
I think maybe we should discuss the arts venue and the special meeting that's coming up on Wednesday of the city council. And Colette, I think you sent out a note to
Yes.
Travis about,
There is a special meeting on December 8th at 5 o'clock here in council chambers. The agenda has been posted. I'm going to be at the meeting. It's a public meeting, so you all can be there and hear the information. Additionally, related to a potential performing arts venue is that, let me just double check. It is during the January 8th regular meeting. One of it's item 8D, is the North Coast rep parcel. So that has also been posted. I haven't had a chance to read through the report on that one. So there's 2 performing arts venue items coming up.
well, that's interesting that are you considering the Pacific View as a performing arts venue?
Well, initially, years ago, that was one of the things that EFA had hoped that it would be.
Right, and I certainly did too. But I was looking through the plan, and it's very interesting, the plan of the proposal from the architect. He went through, the group went through, came up with 4 different plans, and the amounts range from 3.5 million to 8.2 million. And the 3.5 looks like it's just repairing one wing of Pacific View to bring it up to standard. But I didn't see any, in the pictures, I didn't see any indication of a performance space. It all looked like classrooms and offices and restrooms. So,
And that was in the posted agenda that you
Yes,
saw that?
yes.
Okay, yeah, I haven't had a chance to look at it yet.
yeah, it's worth going through.
Yeah, the attachment for the.
It's the attachment.
Is a 34-page report. And it's lots of bathrooms. I have no idea why we need so many bathrooms.
Building codes, probably.
Yeah, and ADA and that kind
Yep.
of stuff. But, yeah, I really encourage, unfortunately, I cannot go to that meeting on Wednesday, but I'm going to resend the letter that we approved, that the commission approved in last April and we sent to the council. I'm going to resend that because we have so many new staff members and who are possibly not acquainted with that. But I hope that some of you can attend the meeting and put in your comments.
Yeah, I'll be able to be there, but I'll know more what I want to say after I have a chance to read the whole report, which I
Right.
haven't had yet.
Right.
Also, I think it's important to be there so that they see and to get up and speak, even if you don't say very much, just to, even if all you say is, we are so grateful that you're addressing this, and that it's, it's back in a public forum, so that we know what's going on.
And if you can't be there, write an email.
Write an
right.
email, yes.
That's what I usually end up
Yeah.
doing
Yeah.
these days.
And that would be great.
I'm more eloquent in my emails than when I speak anyway.
Well, that's interesting. Thanks for telling us what you thought of what you saw on there, Irene.
Yeah, I didn't
definitely will.
realize there wasn't anything for
out.
performing arts.
Not that I could see.
No, it's not there then.
And as I think what has been noted before, if the North Coast rep gets that parcel and develops it there, it's not going to be available for use by the city. So
Okay, and I will close out of this. Okay, so then the next thing on here is 9A, Encinitas Friends of the Arts Report. Is anyone here able to give that?
I heard at the cultural tourism meeting, Naomi spoke about what's happening there, and I think we heard about the Dia de los Muertos, which turned out well considering the circumstances, and they're planning a passport to Italy, similar to the events they've had in past years. And I believe, I don't remember the date, it's sometime in the spring. They had planned to have a flea market this Saturday, but that was canceled.
Yeah, we've canceled the Makers Market.
The maker, right.
There are too many other things going on that are similar.
Right.
And DOA was very successful. And I'm sorry, I can't tell you the date, but we also, we have contracted our new MOU. What does it mean?
The EFA MOU is,
MOU.
is right,
Memorandum.
it's going to be, it's being routed for approval and will likely be in the June 15th. We're not anticipating any issue, nothing, there were no substantial changes.
Oh, it's been approved by the board anyway, so, and the legal department, so.
Right. The passport to Italy is tentatively scheduled for June 18th.
Okay, great.
And then the flea market might happen in July. She wasn't, I was looking back over the nights, the notes to see. Okay, so then that takes us to 9B, the Cultural Arts Division report. So we covered some of those things. Covered just about everything. I am officially the new city's arts program administrator.
Congratulations.
Thank you. The position of arts assistant will likely get posted in January. There is currently a position posted for a recreational services assistant for the cultural arts department, and that person generally assists with the Wednesdays at noon concerts, the Friday night concerts that happen about once a month, and art night. So if you know anyone, a college student, someone who really just wants to pick up a few extra hours, it's a very, very part-time job, but it can be fun because you get to enjoy all the concerts. So that's posted now.
That would be a good person who is in the music performances. Have somebody, that would be very good experience for somebody like that, and we need someone who has that bent.
Someone who would enjoy that, for
Who
sure.
would really enjoy being with the artists and can talk to them and understands when there's an issue with lighting or
Right.
the sound system or something like that.
Well, and part of what they do, they get it all set up, and then they get to enjoy the concert and then break it all down. So definitely point people in the direction of that posting if you can think of anyone. And then, okay, the last thing is the Arts Commission's regular meeting in January is scheduled for January 3rd. It is not a holiday for us. And we went back and looked, and that was voted on as part of your regular meeting calendar. We can get the agenda posted before we all go on break, so it is possible. I just wanted to kind of throw that out there. If it appears that we will not have quorum, or if you want to cancel that, we can do that too.
Could we postpone it 1 week? Is that a possibility? Have it on the 10th?
The chair can call for a special meeting.
I'd be into that,
To postpone it?
just by a week, yeah.
I think that would be okay. I mean, then it means that the next meeting in February is going to be 3 weeks, so we have to think
So it
about
would
that.
be January
But I
10th
think
instead of January 3rd?
It would be good to be able to discuss what's going on with the Pacific View. So, do we need to vote on that, or?
No, you
Oh.
can, I believe you can just let me know. You can make an announcement
Okay.
at this meeting about what you would like to do.
Mhm. Are there any objections to anybody here?
So we're requesting our meeting be on January 10th instead of the 3rd?
The chair can request a special
right?
meeting, for
Okay.
sure.
Okay. All right, so I can just send you a note about that. Or I could request it now. Or no?
Okay, and then we have the commission calendar. So we have concerts happening. We did not have one last week, but we have one for this week, and then 8th, 15th, 22nd. There is no concert on the Wednesday in between Christmas and New Year's, which is December 29th. But then starting back up that first week in January, we are scheduled pretty solidly through March. So those concerts are continuing. Art Night this Saturday, December 11th. The future Art Night dates coming up. I don't know if I shared have I shared those with you guys yet? January 29th, March 12th, May 14th, July 23rd, September 17th, and November 19th. And I'll email those to you as well, but just so you've got those in your calendars so you can attend.
Colette, how's the music program going, going ahead, looking in 2022? Is that going to remain
The Wednesdays at noon?
Wednesdays at noon, and the Friday concerts and the E-Palpity?
So the Friday concerts are scheduled through June, and everything looks great for those. Wednesdays at noon is pretty solidly scheduled through about March, so I'm anticipating that continuing on and remaining healthy. E-Palpity, I have no reason to believe it won't continue. We have tentative dates, which are they arrive on July 11th, which is a Monday, and then the concerts are tentatively scheduled that week, the 14th, 15th, 16th. But all of that is still tentative, and I need to regroup with Laura to get those details settled, probably early next year.
Okay. That's such a great program.
It's a very popular program.
All the music programs are.
And I
Really
was
popular.
told that they have already booked directly with the Prebbies for the big concert.
They have a tentative reservation on the space because they needed to. Yeah.
So,
All right, that's the end of 9C.
Okay. And I don't believe there are any commissioner-initiated agenda items, so we can move on to future agenda items.
I heard somebody say something about wanting something as a future agenda item.
Well, that's on the arts ordinance, and I'm not sure, maybe we don't need that, as because actually I forgot that it was a separate item on the work plan,
Oh, there you go.
so we can just get to work and get that going. Any other agenda items that people want to add? Okay, then we can move on to commissioners' reports. Does anyone have anything they want to add?
Not I.
I would just like to comment that doing the art selection, it was just amazingly well organized and coordinated. And thought, how in this war, how in the world are we going to go through, what was it, 77 artists in 2 hours?
Yeah, it
took me-
was a little over 100.
Okay, well, it took me all day just to look at them and digest them and decide what I thought about each one. So how we were going to do that in 2 hours, I just couldn't picture it. But we did. We actually even had a little bit of time left over at the end. So I want to congratulate you very much very highly on pulling that off, because that was quite an undertaking.
Thank
And
you.
it only worked because it was so well organized.
Thank you. And thank you for your time in doing that. I know it was short notice and not as convenient a time as we would have liked. So I very much appreciate you guys adjusting your schedules so that we could give the artists a little bit extra time to get their submissions in and be able to pull it off. So I very much appreciate that.
It was difficult, though, for some of the jurors because of the short turnaround. So I'm hoping in the future that we'll be able to have more time, the jurors will have more time.
I'm just hoping we don't have COVID as another variable and have all kinds of, there were a number of things, technical and otherwise, that interrupted the process. It was kind of the perfect storm of challenges. So I don't anticipate having that same situation again.
Good, good, I'm glad. Okay, so anyone else would like to say anything? Nope. Okay, in that case, we can adjourn the meeting at 5:45. Thank you, everyone.